And you guys, when you ask questions, but trying to be closer to the microphone. The microphone is right here. Right, is that?
Have other groups been going full slideshow?
You can go full size, please.
You can minimize the top thing if you want.
Yeah, you can minimize the banner.
This one?
Hide it, yeah, hide it. Yeah, please.
Hide meeting
No.
controls.
Meeting controls or loading down. Right there. Yeah.
All set. All right, hello everyone. We are DJMS Consulting. We've been tasked with reconstruct of the asphalt pavements up by the STC lots 22, 23, and 24. We've been asked to use glass as a partial substitute in the actual aggregate used in the asphalts.
So taking a look at the quick outline of what we're going to go over today. So we're all going to introduce ourselves, tell you a little about ourselves, some background information, go over the glass, take a look at where the glass comes from, how much glass we're going to need, general overview of the parking lots and the existing conditions on the site. We're going to review our pavement design and what we came up with to satisfy the needs of the parking lots. Take a look at the pavement mix design as well as the drawings that we created. Then we'll go over the construction phases, how we're going to complete the project in a timely manner, go over the drainage planning, and then finally the schedule of the project.
So my name is John Pramsky. I'm the project manager for this project. I'm a civil, my 5th year civil, transportation focused. I was a member of the football team here at Michigan Tech for 5 years, and I'm from Newbury, Michigan, which is over in the east end of UP.
I'm Derek Mahosky. I did a lot of the glass research on the project and also the scheduling. It helped with the glass scheduling because I, over the summer, worked at the Marquette County landfill, which is where we are getting our glass from. And I'm transportation focused. I'm an avid hunter and a UP native.
I'm Mark Lipke. I'm general civil engineering with a minor in rail. I play football currently. I'm coming back for another semester to finish out my 5 years of football. Originally from Madison, Wisconsin, and on the project, I assisted all throughout on the drawings. Really, wherever I was needed, I helped out and assisted wherever.
I'm Serena Nystrom, and I'm a transportation focused civil. I'm a 4th year. I'm in the pep band. I'm a co-president of Green Campus, and I'm from Minnesota, and I work mainly with the drainage.
So to get us going with the glass information, for our mixture, we use 10% glass. So that for all 3 of the parking lots came out to just over 1,000 tons of glass needed for the project. And to build perspective on that, an empty glass beer bottle is a half a pound. So you'll need 4,000 glass beer bottles to get a ton. So that means we need roughly over 4 million glass beer bottles to pave all the parking lots. And then I got in contact with the director of the Marquette County landfill, Brad Austin, and he gave us some good information. And he basically said, like, they don't have enough glass to run the glass recycling every day. They want to get to that point, and they're trying to get like the whole UP encouraged with it. But right now it's pretty much Marquette County, and they get some recycling shipped in. When they do run in an 8-hour shift, they get roughly 5 tons. So if they did run every day, it would take 208 days as of now to get enough glass to pave the parking lots. Some additional information that Brad Austin thought would be good to add in our presentation is the accepted glass. It has to be clean, and it has to be like glass jars or bottles. You can't go there and have like house windows in there. They don't accept that. And it's not a risk to the tires in the parking lots because the particle size of the glass when it's recycled is small enough and the edges are rounded.
So taking a look at the parking lots that are being redesigned. So it's lots 22, 23, and 24, as you can see above. Lot 22 being the most used parking lot with a 2-hour parking to STC access. Lot 23 is long-term parking for on-campus housing, and lot 24 is a commuter and general lot.
So the existing conditions of current lots, they are all paved with a typical asphalt mixture. And looking at the concrete curb and gutter, light fixtures, as well as the surrounding landscape, they were in good condition. So we will replace those as needed up to the engineer's judgment. And the existing drainage system withstood the Father's Day flood a few years back. I'm sure you remember. It was a 1,000-year flood, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. And our design will not alter this drainage system, but it will match the grading and elevations as needed.
So for the pavement design for this project, we are assuming just from off of soil surveys that we're dealing with an A25 as the existing subgrade. We were also asked to use the AASHTO 1993 design method for figuring out the depth of pavements. And as we were calculating this, due to the low levels of traffic on these lots, the AASHTO 93 method displayed that we did not need a subbase layer. We could get by without using a subbase layer and just go straight from the existing subgrade compacted in place to our proposed 4 inches of asphalt. But after kind of referring and talking to different experts, we decided that we were going to use a 6-inch aggregate subbase or base layer compacted in place just to help with construction. During the construction process, we're worried that the big machinery working and maneuvering on top of that subbase layer would tear it up. So if they are working on compacted aggregate layer, they'd probably fare better than the existing subgrade. So we are going to throw 6 inches of aggregate down. And then we are going to throw a 4-inch asphalt layer on top of that. So Dr. Yu gave us some information here using his TA to run a sample for us since we were not experts on running lab samples for this. And this is the gradation we came up with. As you can see, we got 41.6% minus screen, 5.1% natural sand, 43.3% washed natural sand, and 10% coarse glass. That is going to be our pavement design mix that we're going to use on this project, and incorporating that glass as a partial substitute for the aggregate.
So these are the drawings that we created to highlight the parking lots. So we used AutoCAD 2020 to design them, and Google Earth used as a guide to help match the existing location of light poles. As you can see, the light poles throughout. The drainage, like we said, is going to match the existing conditions at the parking lot. So those are all going to be the same. And like I said, we used AutoCAD to help, and Google Earth integrated within AutoCAD to help make the drawings.
There's going to be a portion in our proposal where we're going to write that it's a contractor's responsibility to identify and locate all pavement markings prior to the project's beginning, in the beginning of construction. Just doing this off Google Earth, as you guys know, Google Earth is not the most accurate way to draw plans, and there's always issues with that. So we are going to put a little clause in there stating that it is the contractor's responsibility to identify and locate pavement markings. So these are not exact plans, and that's why there's no dimensions in these plans.
So looking at the construction phases, we're going to do this job in 2 phases. So phase 1 will be lot 22 and 23, and the 2 phases is to allow parking on the other parking lots to accommodate for the other parking lots being down during construction. So with lots 22 and 23 in phase A, we'll use lot 24 for temporary parking. It's still close enough to the SDC for access, for daily access. A lot of athletes and general use to the SDC takes place during the summer. So with lot 24 still being in close enough proximity, it's really not much of a change to get to the SDC. And then when lot 24 goes under construction for phase B, we're going to use lot 23 as the temporary parking. And that should, due to the reduced amount of traffic during the summer and the time frame where they'll be going on, lot 23 should be enough temporary parking. And if it's not, lot 21 will also be used if you need to access a different part, maybe the rehab center of the SDC. It will just be allowed more use throughout the SDC.
As for the drainage plan, we use the 100-year flood in the NOAA table, which gave a 4.83 inches per hour. It was recommended use the 100-year flood instead of the 50, even though the 50 is MDOT standards. And using the 4.83 inches per hour and the rational method, we calculated the peak discharge for both the Father's Day flood and the 100-year flood estimate. And using that, we were able to find that the Father's Day flood was greater than the calculated. And looking at that, that means that we are over capacity. We are over designed currently with the drainage system. So we assumed that there were no issues with the current drainage system, especially as there were no inspections done. As talked about, since the drainage plan is adequate for any runoff volumes, we have chosen to use the existing drainage system, and we will match all existing grades and elevations for catch basins. And we decided as a group to not add any green space because parking is already an issue on campus, especially due to the massive amounts of snow that we have. And especially November through April, even currently, snow still covers the lot.
So as far as the estimate for this project, as Sabrina said, we're going to match existing. Since the drainage system in place was able to withstand the Father's Day flood, which is in excess of a 100-year flood for this project, we're going to try to stay away from any rehabs to the drainage systems, the light posts, right? Currently, any electrical utilities, we're going to try to stay away from that to really focus on the project that we're focused on. We want to get this glass asphalt down and get some years on it, get some testing done on it. So we figured that the best way to pass this project and sell this project to the campus would be to make this cheap as possible. So we want to just continue to make this cheap as possible without altering any other aspects of the project that may increase this price. So that being said, our estimate came up to $2.1 billion. We don't have a ton of cost. Excuse me. A lot of pavement markings. Our highest costs were the asphalt itself and our aggregate that we are proposed to take in. But there's also potential replacement. We are not sure at this point what our typical sections of the existing parking lots look like. It could be 5, 6 inches of asphalt with a sub base layer and a base layer underneath it. So if there is a base layer currently underneath that, there's a chance that we could potentially recycle some material and have that put back in, as long as that gets approved by the engineer prior to this project start beginning. So 2.1 right now is planning for like its highest cost that we predict. If we are able to reuse any materials or cut down on some of these materials, could be even less than that, which should help push this project and get it started. Hopefully get some results on this glass asphalt. One concern we did have with this project is, as Derek mentioned, the glass is coming from Marquette solid waste. And that's an hour and 47 minutes, it's 96 miles that we're gonna have to haul all this glass up to Holden. That's pretty far if you account for fuel prices right now. And any emissions that these trucks are gonna be let off, I mean, that might be a turn off to some people. So as far as the feasibility for this project, we're thinking that might be a problematic aspect to this project as far as selling it, but we thought that was important to include. And if we were to suggest an alternative to this project, it may be to run this project in a Marquette, say at Northern Michigan University. As much as we hate them, potentially do that at a closer location where we're not transporting glass so far. It's such a long distance.
So the project start date we have is May 16th. We figured a lot of people, all the students are gone. It's just the athletes. Usually the snow is gone in time to start construction for that. Phase A will be May 23rd to June 10th, and phase B duration runs June 14th to July 5th. We would hope to shorten phase B a little bit to get it done before the 4th of July holiday, because a lot of the construction workers like to have that off and go enjoy themselves. And we hope to wrap things up by July 12th. That last little bit is just cleanup of the parking lots, make sure we leave everything clean. Yep. We use Microsoft Project to make our schedule. We like to use this because I didn't put it on here because it didn't really look good, but it shows a Gantt view. So then you can follow the path of how everything lays out. And we schedule to have weekends off because the construction workers like that as well.
These are the different sources we used on the project. And do we have any questions?
Whoa. All right, now we have time for questions. Are there any questions from Zoom?
I had one question. This is Craig Scripsima. When you guys do your estimates, I would recommend you showing your unit prices you used, so people don't have to go back there and check things.
Okay, yeah. We were gonna submit all these files to Dr. Yu. We used 2019 for our unit prices.
Yeah, it's just
That's
that
good.
as an engineer, that's one of the things I look at is from a comparison. That's what I would use in my check, my mental check as I look at things.
Sure. Okay.
The other comment I would make, and I agree with you, minimizing the amount of work that you want to do to kind of fast track it. But I would recommend you look at any drainage structures and making sure that the casting is bonded to the structure below. What we usually call that as reconditioning or adjusting them. I agree with you leaving them in place, not messing with the storm sewer. It handles the drainage that it would exceed. But when you have the asphalt removed, that's the most cost-effective time to do any minor repairs that you possibly could do. And it'll lengthen the life of your asphalt you're putting down. Because those low spots water will sit there and it'll cause degradation of your pavement faster than anything else will. So even though you want to minimize that, I would recommend you include that in and factor that in somewhere.
And we were,
It's well worth,
sorry, go ahead.
it's well worth the cost while you're doing that work.
Right. And we were planning on setting up just pay items for different, but we weren't even sure what the drainage system looked like down there. We were planning on setting up pay items just to have them in the contract, that while during the removal process, if something was hit or if there was damage to something, or they found a line that was broken or needed to be repaired, just to have pay items set up for it just in case.
Yep.
But without knowing exactly what was down there, we didn't want to put a false or a incorrect item in, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, it was a good presentation. Nice job.
Thank you very much, Craig. Craig is a senior engineer in OHM Advisors. So it's really our pleasure to have you to be a part of our team. Are there any questions from audience in the room?
Well, that's something I'm playing with too, Don Dickinson. Are you guys using, what's your gradation you're looking at?
I forgot what we.
Dense graded.
That's
You guys asking me.
Yeah, it's like a dense graded, or is that like you talking number 4 and down, number 8 and down?
I thought it was number 4 and down, I believe.
Because it was one thing, if you read some of the studies that did the 80s,
Yeah.
when you get into that half-inch size or even the 3/8, you use this as a thing your service as well. It makes it fix a reflectivity problem and
Oh, okay.
winding the headlights. So keep it small
Right.
and keep the percentage down. The city of Baltimore did a huge study on it. It was it was okay, but it wasn't great because they're using a large size particle. Increase
Okay.
the particle size down.
I want to say the particles that we had were probably, now that you say that, they probably were a little too big, so we might need to decrease that a little bit, but.
You keep it down to, like number 8-ish down, it should be good, and don't go back too much. That was a city of Baltimore recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah, we're playing the 2 down Dickinson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you guys doing the rubber tire as well?
We did, yeah, we got one of those in, we're working with Fresh View on another one of those.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, Lance Marbury, you guys know, he's basically helping us in our teams also. So Lance and I actually are doing some work in Dickinson County. So basically this year we're going to pave a few miles of road with rubber. And then next year we potentially are going to pave some miles with glass. So that's, for Michigan Tech application, it's probably not feasible yet. Because of the travel distance, but driving distance, the hauling different distances. Oh, and then we're Dixon County, which is a little much closer. And so right now we have a grant to be approved. Actually, is this set approved? So basically, we're going to build something in Dixon County. So you guys should really check out.
Yeah.
So I have a simple question. This is not my area of expertise. And wastewater and it would be good, but because I suspect you can never add to do I don't know, maybe it's actually, it's an assumption on my part. So in this design, using glass and then
Right.
this type of material, how did that change what you learned in class? Or did it change what you learned?
I mean, I guess the assumption that's the test results that we got back said that the glass did not really influence our the structural integrity of our asphalt layer. So it seemed like it was a successful trade. So there wasn't a whole lot of challenges to overcome since it didn't really affect the structural integrity and the edges being rounded, as Derek said earlier. There's no tire issues. The only thing that we're concerned about is if they were to round those edges, we were going to use a larger particle. If a force from trucks or whatever would break that and shatter that one particle and then create a jagged edge, if that would then become a tire issue, obviously, but.
Or a little kid issue?
Right, right.
Parking lot all the time.
You wouldn't want these in the city streets probably if that were the case, so. Right now, there's still so much unknown about it. We don't for sure know anything. We're assuming most things, so until we get this down and the cars rolling over and bare feet on it, we won't know, I guess.
Just one more question. I didn't see anything. How are you addressing the edges of the parking lot? So assuming you're crushing existing pavement, or you're removing it to get back to grade?
Removing.
Removing it, okay, so you're going back down to grade then?
We're gonna match all existing. What's that?
So you're going to take out what you're going back in as new pavement, then take it all up?
Correct.
So your edge grade will be.
Yep.
It's addressed anywhere, kind of curious.
The removal, yeah, I'm not sure if I put that in there now, but we're planning on removing 10 inches because right now we're planning on putting 10 inches here, the 4 inches, and then the 6-inch base layer. So our removal process right now is going to be to try to remove 10 inches, up to 10 inches right there, and then just replace it.
So what are you doing around your edges? Because you're never going to remove a vertical wall.
Right.
What are you, I mean, you're.
There would have to be a taper of some sort.
So I mean, are you putting in a gravel edge or you're topsoil? I don't really see that addressed anywhere. How you're tying it just in ground. That actually can be quite costly if you're not careful.
Okay.
Restoration to tie that in.
Sure. Well, now, as far as restoration, these lots there's curb and gutter around the entire perimeter of the lot. So we should be able to just chop it vertically at 10 inches underneath the curb and gutter. Assuming that curb and gutter is deeper than 10 inches, which I would think. I'm not sure.
I guess I didn't realize that lot 24 would all curve all the way around. It's been around for a while.
It is.
Sorry to ask this question.
Oh, it's all the questions are very valid. I think I really like to, have audience ask a lot of questions. I guess you guys are mentioning like 3 parking lots. Okay, so you are going to use like 4.some million beer bottles, right? Roughly. And it's also the total cost, I remember, is about over 2.2 million something dollars. And about half of that is asphalt layer, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I remember. And now, the asphalt price is 1-some million, 1.1 million. But that does not really including, you have additional item for glass. So is that duplicated somehow?
No. That was so we accounted for that in our mix design, so that the pavement number that we had. Oh, I see what you're saying. So we used unit prices for the estimate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically, I thought you are probably duplicating something like About $41,000.
Right.
Yeah, that number likely need to be
Subtracted from.
subtracted. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the one there. That's why they're, you have 40 yards of restoration. That's what got me, was it's so small.
So right now we're planning on that's equipment parking. We're assuming that they're gonna have to throw the paver up in the grass and get it out of the way for a while. That's kind of one of those items that we just want to throw in there just in case. You know. We're assuming that there's gonna be some damage done to the grass around the foliage around or whatnot. Anything else?
How much beer bottles do you think we have here in Houghton?
Well, this weekend should help.
Especially this weekend.
Yeah. Recycle, make sure you guys.
But we need
recycle.
a 4 million. That's, give everybody students a bigger case, even that is still not make a million. Anyway, okay, all right. All right, very good job. Okay, very good job. So basically what's going on is in Dickinson County, we are likely going to build something, and in my opinion, we also want to really do something like some kind of like artwork with beer bottles on the road or something, with some kind of like a display saying this work is done, on whatever, 2 million beer bottles. And of course, don't drink, don't drink, just drive, or something like that. And so, and also, if we have money, we can maybe build a monument or something. That's some ideas there. All right, you guys can feel free to supply any creativity. All right. With that, thank you guys, and please join me to thank for the team.